It's a weekend off for you, but there was also other games going on around the Blue Square Premier, games you'd have kept your eye on, especially Wimbledon at Luton.
Yep.
Wimbledon ran out winners there.
Yep.
Where does that leave Mansfield Town? 7th this morning in the league.
Yep.
But the one positive, shall we say, aspect of the weekend was the fact that you didn't play. It sort of levels out the games to be played. You're only one game in front of everyone else now, so to speak.
Yeah, I think you, with the games in hand of the other teams, now everybody's on a little bit more of an even keel. It's a positive one that that now sometimes, especially in this league this year, it's almost important to have the games in the bag, the points in the bag. We have had that. Obviously, we'd like to have a few more points than we've got to make sure we're in the playoff positions. But we'll be striving to be able to do that. AFC Wimbledon had a great result against Luton, and it just shows you how interesting it is and how tight it is. That there's probably eight teams that are all fighting for those places.
A weekend off for the players. There was only two injuries, I think, at the minute. Jake Spaten and Ollie Hotchkiss.
Yes.
Where are they in their recovery? Particularly Ollie, with the fact that he might have had another week now to recover, and also how's the rest of the squad?
Yeah, that helps Ollie. Ollie's back in, probably available for selection on Saturday, or if the game's rearranged earlier. So that helps Ollie. He'll have a smile on his face coming down from Newcastle, or I best not say Newcastle, actually Sunderland. So he'll have a smile on his face now that he's fit and available. How
hopeful are you? There might be a game on Wednesday. Are you preparing for one?
Yeah, I think you've got to prepare for all eventualities. Obviously with the weather and the conditions, it's difficult to find a facility. The training field where we use at Fretwell, unfortunately unplayable at the moment. Even 3G surfaces around the area are unavailable. So we're obviously restricted by training, but you try and prepare the best that you can in using the facilities that you've got. And again, the area of Mansfield and the people, I've just made a few phone calls this morning, have been really helpful, really supportive, and that's great, because we're appreciative of that, and it's important that they understand that, and they know how we feel.
Before we finish today, I just want to get your thoughts on an interview I did with Andy Perry, the chairman of this football club, regarding Chester City at the weekend. I won't get you to comment specifically on the details of Chester City at the minute, but one of the proposals that he gave me for keeping Chester City playing this year was for Mansfield Town and other conference clubs to loan Chester players. What's your thoughts on that?
I think every football club in this, or every football fan in this country, knows how much they feel for their own football club. And I think a football club going, or kind of capitulating, if you like, and folding would be a massive, what's the word? Tragedy, really. Because everybody goes through a game on Saturday. You imagine going with your granddad and your dad and your mum and to the games when you're a kid, and then eventually when you're an adult, that team that you've got so many fond memories of goes bust, and nobody wants to see that. So any situation, any circumstance that other football clubs can help, whether it be through players, whether it be through other avenues, well, I think it should be all explored. Whether those things are possible is obviously for the directors and for the powers that be to decide and to work on. But I think any way that you can help, you should help.
As an assistant manager, Joe, of this football club, I won't get you to comment on the nitty-gritty and the details of making it possible, but just from your point of view, going into the most important time of the year, would you want players that potentially you will need at the back end of this season going to play for another football club and potentially getting injured and being unavailable for when, shall we say, it really is important to this football club come May time?
I think if that's one of the options that have come about, we've got quite a few lads out on loan with other football clubs at the moment, and that's for experience reasons and for their personal development. So as long as that was that could well be the reason as well. We've got players out in the Northern Conference who are on loan, and obviously if players went out to a conference club playing against conference teams week in week out, well, that would help their development. So that's something that it might not be just kind of players who getting injured. What you have got to think about is the development of the player, and whether next season that'll help him and help him to come back into our squad stronger and more positive, and more able to be able to deal with the requirements of hopefully what we see as League Two or whatever next year.
Your point of view at the moment, it's mid-morning Monday.
Yes.
Where is the kind of the cut-off point for being able to organise a match for Wednesday night?
I think that's down to the backroom staff, sort of the office staff, the chairman, directors, CEO, to be able to sort out things. Obviously, they've got some good people who work for them that facilitate the games week in, week out. So if they're confident of being able to put something on, well, that's their area of expertise. We'll be doing what we can to be able to make sure if somebody does turn around and says there's a game on Wednesday, well, we'll look to try and prepare the best we can. Obviously, it'll be the same for other football clubs, that they'll be struggling to get outside as well. Preparation, you'd like to be out on the fields and playing and preparing and working on a little bit of shape. But if that's not the case, you have to adapt to that. So we'll be looking at facilities and looking at areas where we can get the best out of the place.
In terms of league rules and policing and or stewarding, is there a cut-off point at all? Where?
To be honest, I'm not sure. Again, that's sort of the area of expertise for the directors and board. So we'll leave that in their hands. I don't know all the rules and regulations, and it'd be wrong of me to comment on that, because if I don't know the answer, well, I'd just be surmising really. So yeah, if somebody turns around to us and says we're playing, well, we're playing.